He doesn't chase perfection. He hunts impact. Agave Van Gogh takes tequila's soul and wires it to explode. Every pixel is a spark, every design a detonation. Chaos refined into culture. He doesn't follow the crowd. He makes the crowd flinch. This isn't digital art. It's tequila's rebellion, electrified and unleashed, on this episode of Tactical Tequila Podcast with your host, Matt Wilson. If you enjoy the show, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it to your social media platforms. Thanks for tuning in and enjoy the show. Welcome back, everyone. Matt with Tactical Tequila. On tonight, we have Adolfo Alba, who is AKA Agave Van Gogh, the mastermind behind so many designs in the tequila realm today. In a world built on imitation, one artist rewrites the code. Agave Van Gogh doesn't follow the waves. He actually makes them crash. His work bleeds agave and rebellion, where beauty and brutality collide in every frame. Every pixel detonates, pulsing like a heartbeat from Jalisco, raw, relentless, and alive. Agave Van Gogh doesn't design, he pulls the pin and lets it explode. He doesn't create, he collides. This isn't art for your wall. It's digital shrapnel, forged in fire and aimed straight for your senses. Adolfo, welcome to the show. I appreciate you being on.
Yeah, damn, I love your fucking intros. It's like, dude, I love the intro. Like, oh man, damn. I wish you were there when I got married. That would have been awesome. And then you're like, okay, this is who you're married. I'm like, you damn right. But yes, no, thank you for having me here. 100%.
How are things, man?
Good. Starting to get cold around here, but really good, really good. Pennsylvania still sucks for tequila, but it's good. It's good.
Well, we're hopefully working on that, right?
Yeah. Little by little. I noticed the mezcal was popping up a lot, but then now it seems like it's teetering off a little bit, and just kind of like Pennsylvania's just like, whatever. At least in the section where I am, there's not much good selection.
So when you create your art, do you see pixels, emotion, or what is it? What gives you the inspiration?
Honestly, it's randomness. It's kind of like just two ideas that sound fun in my mind. I don't really know how fun they'll be, and I just go like, oh man, let me see if I can just put these two together. And then I just kind of like, it's almost like if I took like two different colors of Play-Doh and I was like, nah, these two won't work together if I smash them together. And I just smash them and I keep playing with them and playing with them. And I'm like, oh man, it's like a pretty cool little pattern, little design. So it's kind of like, it's real. My brain is random. So it's very, very at random.
Now, how do you keep the soul in your artwork when created by software?
I think it's just the way my brain works. It's like, I feel like if well, first of all, because like I design on my phone, so like as far as software, I use like a $4 Doodle app, so I don't have like extensive software. It's really like the most bare bones that you can, I mean, like a 6-year-old can do it. Um, I think it's just my brain. It's just like I can't let it go. I just can't let it go. It's just like it's something just eats away at me. It's like, no, you can make this really weird contraption that's in your brain and you can put it out there for someone. It's like, I don't know, it's just like I feel like something just tugs on me and just won't stop until I'm done with it and I put it out.
I have bought several of your designs. I love your work, and actually wearing one tonight. And this was the first one that I ever got from you. And it was the first one that I was like, what would be totally cool is if you did a Banksy photo and you're like, dude, I already did that. Like, let me send you this. But yeah, one of my favorite shirts. I love this print, and we've seen each other now a couple times, LA, Chicago, LA again, and probably this new design that you just did with Jason and the blood splatter.
Yeah,
That was a badass design.
that's been years. Like I'll be honest, I've been holding on to that one for like 2, maybe 3 years because I've always wanted to put it out, but it always like I would get so many like commissions going so close to Halloween that then I was like, oh, I'm literally just gonna drop this like right on Halloween, and then I just always pushed it off. Like next year I'll get to it, and then it would just sit there. Next year I'll get to it, and so then every year when like Halloween comes around, I was like, oh man, I always start thinking, oh, Camp Cristalino, and I just start thinking Jason Voorhees, and I'm like, oh, so then this year I was like, no, just go ahead and put it out, and I did, and I was just like, the whole time I was doing it, I was like, I'm really digging this. But as soon as I put it out, I'm like, no one's gonna dig this but me. But it's like I just put it out there and just look the other way.
And maybe you see things different from your end, but how I see it outside looking in, so many people love all of your designs.
I'm very fortunate in that sense. Um, I feel like I'm someone who, at least myself, I feel like I'm always like, whenever I'm doing something, I always feel like, oh, I have tunnel vision and kind of like somebody who's driving the wrong way but doesn't ask for directions. Like I'm going east, and then they end up going the wrong way. And I kind of feel like when I'm making something, I feel like I'm like, yeah, I'm going the right way, I'm going the right way. But then you hit that moment where you're like, well, what if I wasn't going the right way this whole time? And then that moment normally comes when it's like when somebody would look to someone else like, hey man, like I need directions. At that point is when like I post it out there and I just go like, look, it is what it is, and I'm just gonna put it out there and see and literally like when I post stuff, when I share it, I literally share it and I like get off my phone, I put my phone face down, I just slide it away from me and I'm just like, I don't want anything to do with that phone. I don't even want to look at it. And then like I don't know, an hour or whatever goes by and I'll look and there's like all these comments. I'm like, oh damn. Oh damn, it worked. It's like, oh I did it.
That's kind of how I feel now that I'm posting more reels per episode. Before it would just be like one or two reels, but now it's like at least 3 to 4 prior to the episode releasing.
Yeah.
And I'll post it and I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna let it stew. And then by the time I pick it up, I'm like, wow, like I was thoroughly impressed by, how many people have viewed it.
Yeah,
So
you've been doing really good with the reels. I've been noticing that a lot. It's like before it used to be like one here, and I'm like bang, bang, bang. I'm like, yes, yes.
yeah, loyal followers, like you have those loyal followers as well. People I've noticed now are looking forward to it more, and I've gotten a lot more feedback.
Yeah, I love it. I tell you what, I love it. Like it's what's dangerous for me is that I listen to you when I'm driving to and from work, and it's like normally I'm driving and I'm like eating like a sandwich or something, and I got like a coffee at the same time, and I'm listening, and I'm like, fuck yeah, and I'm like, oh, I like like I'll hear a different side of like a brand or a person, and I'm just like, oh, this is so dope. And then like I know that I can't reach over to my phone and text because I'm like, I got all this going on. I'm not doing this, so I try to hit it with the asking for. I'm not gonna say the phone's name because then it's gonna do something weird now. But like I'll ask like, hey man, like start writing a message, and it always goes sideways because it's in the middle of the podcast. So then when I get to work, it's normally like I'm like, okay, remember what you were gonna say, and then I try to say it. But like, dude, I love it. I love it to no end. It is three-dimensional audio, 100%.
I love that. Getting back into, your artwork, is there ever a time that you feel like your work isn't as clean as Agave is?
Always, always. I don't think I've ever done anything that I felt was clean ever. Everything that I do, I'm like, damn, there was some rough spots, or I don't see it, or I don't like, yeah, no, it's definitely like I feel like if my artwork was an agave, it would be like It would be like if you let a rookie with a half sharpened koa go at it with a giant agave, but they didn't get all the pieces off. And it's like, yeah, man, like, I mean, it's really big, so I can really see where you fucked up. And then it's like, hey, man, but you tried, right? Like, yeah, man, it's great. Like, my agave would be the one with band-aids on it. They're like, what the fuck? Why does your agave have band-aids? Like, yeah, that's my, yeah.
I feel like that's a new inspiration right now for a new design. You get the agave pina with the little blood stains from the sugar content, and then you put a Band-Aid over it.
Yeah. Oh, damn. I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to get on that.
I like it. I like it. I'm glad I could set that ball in motion. So now, what do you think is harder, perfecting detail or capturing an imperfection?
For me, is knowing when to stop, actually. That for me, because the detail, it's hard. Like, I feel like if you try it, for me anyway, because like I'm just like self-taught. So if I try to catch a, like the detail of something so much, I feel like you lose it. And being perfect means that I'll never get done. So I kind of always think of like a quote that I don't even know if it's a real quote, but like P.T. Barnum, where they say like, "Oh, there's a sucker born every minute," but they were like, "That's not actually what he said." It was kind of like, if you give somebody creativity, their imagination will fill in the rest. So I'm like, if there's a straight line, I draw a straight line with some jagged edges and some bits of it missing, and I'm like, and I leave kind of like something open to interpretation, just because I feel like if I try to make it perfect, I'll never get it done, and if I try to do detail, it'll never be what it actually is. Kind of like a dating profile. Like, this isn't what I ordered. I think that's kind of like what it'll end up. So I just kind of like I kind of hit it where I feel like I gave it my best, man, and then I just kind of like let it go with love, or a Valhalla bow and arrow, like, good luck.
Gave it the old college try.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So now, in talking about technology and your vision, do you feel like technology has ever limited your vision, or do you feel like it more or less enhances it?
Um, it definitely doesn't limit it, because I'm using probably one of the most limited ways to design. Um, as far as enhancing it, um, I wouldn't say that it enhances it. It more or less allows it, because like my style is pretty much like somebody who would break glass and then put it back together in a different way. And I think with the technology, it it allows me grace to mess up and go back and keep fit something here, fit something there. Because if I did it on paper, I'd never get done. I would never get done, because I go through from this piece of paper, and then I'd have like this little light thing, and I put it over there, and it just would never happen. But I think it definitely allows me. And I guess in that sense, it enhances me. But I would definitely say, what it allows me to enhance myself. I guess that would work. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll go with enhance.
Now, you kind of touched on it, just a little bit ago. When you finish a piece, does it ever make you feel like you're alive? Doing your artwork.
No, no. Honestly, um, whenever I finish something, I literally feel like if I'm on my own shoulder, I'm like, you dumb fuck. This is the worst thing you've ever done. Like, this is disgusting. And I'm just like, oh man. And I'm like, eh, yeah, no, I don't think I've ever made something that I've felt like, it's weird to say like not good about, because I care about everything that I've put out. Like I put a lot of myself into it, but at the very last second, so much doubt sinks in that even if I felt like I was riding the love train, or the enthusiasm train, at that very last second, everything comes apart.
In your art, what do you think the biggest misconception that people have about digital art versus traditional?
Um, I would probably think that the biggest misconception is that it's easier. Um, and I think for that it's because I feel like like traditional art, like painting and drawing, like with a pen or a marker or a paintbrush, I feel like you're more of a daredevil. Like you're like, yeah, man, I got this. Like you're more confident within your talents. And I think with the technology, it allows you with to kind of mess up, but I feel like it kind of lets me think that I'm better than I am. And then that's where I kind of get myself in trouble. But then you know what it is? If you've ever ridden a motorcycle and you get a really good set of tires and you hear oh, these tires are gonna make you feel like a better rider than you really are. That's what it's like. I'm like, oh man, I got this, man. And then it's like, check it, you're gonna crash and burn. But yeah, that's that one.
If your artwork disappeared from screen tomorrow, what would you feel like it left behind?
Honestly, nothing. I don't think it would leave anything behind. I just because everything changes so fast. Everything changes so fast. Like I could be doing artwork now and I could stop and then somebody in 6 months could be like, hey, I want to do tequila stuff, or someone doing whiskey could be like, hey, I'm gonna give my shot. And then basically by the numbers it just overruns whatever you do and then you just get watered down. But in reality, I don't think that's a bad thing because the the whole community, the whole niche or ethos, everything about it, I think it's so cool how it's always ever changing that I think just being like a ripple in that stream for me is badass enough.
Yeah, I feel the same, and even when I was in LA this last time with you, I had people coming up to me in this event at Sabor, and they're like, "Hey, can we take a picture?" And I'm like, "Really?" I was like, it made me feel good, but at the same time, I always feel like, I mean, I know the loyal few that really watch the show, but it's just like, wow, you watch the show, man, like this is amazing to me.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel when you have those people that meet you in person for the first time? They've been following you and now they're coming up to you at an event like Sabor and they're just like, we love your artwork. How does that make you feel?
I'm over the freaking moon. Like I feel like I wish I could stop time in that moment and hang out with them with more time than time allows, just because I get a kick out of that. I love talking. I love communicating with people. I love socializing. Like it's a I'm not a social butterfly, but whenever it hits, then I'm like, yes. And it's like it's so cool to be, I guess, like the 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 lightning rod of somebody's like enjoyment, and especially when it lines up with tequila, and then knowing that I had something to do, I'm like, oh fuck, this is fucking great. Like, yeah. And then it's like at that point I just want to hang out in that moment for as long as I can. Like, I think it's cool that someone likes what I did. I think it's cool that something that I did affected them in a certain way. And honestly, I like to talk to whoever it is and get to know about them. Whether they're like, oh, I only like to wear soccer shoes. That's it. It's like because for me, like life itself, all those kind of moments are actually like what feed like my brain, like all that randomness. So I like to keep all of that going, and there's just not enough time. I wish there was. I definitely wish there was.
How do you blend tradition and tech without losing any authenticity in your artwork?
Um, that's the it. Let me do it when it happens by accident. As I think, as long as when I'm making it, as long as if I feel that it starts to become a design, I I can feel it within myself. I'm like, oh, it's starting to follow rules of like of how you would design like a like not cookie cutter, but like there's a routine to it. And once I start to feel that, I I dial it back, and I like sometimes I'll just wipe whatever I'm doing and start over because I don't know. I feel like it has to feel like authentic. I have to feel authentically myself, and then I feel like it will just through osmosis come out because I really care about what I'm doing, and as long as I'm being honest with myself, I feel like it just comes out naturally.
Now, what would you say probably, and this is more or less a loaded question for you, but what would you say your favorite design is that you've done?
Um, that it is a loaded question. I would probably say though, of all the designs, my favorite one would be one that pushed me. I want to say like I guess artistically like way farther than I ever thought I could have was for Legato. It was a Salvador Dali one, and it was I don't remember the name of the piece, but it shows like these elephants with these really skinny legs walking through the desert, and I did that, and I was able to capture like the sunlight and the shadows with the bottles pouring out. And I was just kind of like, shit, I actually did that. Like, I still look at it like sometimes I'm like, I did that on my phone. I did that with a doodle app. And I was like, damn. But if you gave me like real graphic design software, I'd be lost. And there's too many tools for me to use. I work best with like limited stuff, but that one definitely still to this day, I'm just like, damn, I did that? That's freaking crazy. But I think that would be my favorite because it that one pushed me pushed me the farthest, I would say.
How do you capture the raw sunburn life of the agave in your artwork?
In reality, capturing it, I think, is by showing darkness. I feel like I really appreciate the dark edges to things and agave farms, the distilleries, like the shadows. I feel like when you capture the shadows, the gritty little shadows in it, I feel like that's what really shines. So for me, it's like the darkness of it. The darkness is what gives it light, and it's what gives it shape, and that's how like I that's how I capture it. Like you can give me an agave sitting in the sun, and once you start looking for the dark edges and you start working the dark edges, I feel like that's what gives everything that contrast is what I think gives everything light.
Is there a part of the tequila process that you find visually powerful when creating?
You have a humidor chopping a pina with a koa or with an axe. With like kind of the koa that kind of looks like an axe. For me, that's what I find powerful, and I want to do that one day. I want to do it so bad. Um, that or whenever I see a humidor carrying, picking up an agave. For me, that's 100%, and I want to do that too one day. I want to do both of those one day.
I I wouldn't be too far behind you there. Would love to retire in Mexico one day and have my own tequila brand. I think it would be, of course, it's going to be a lot of work, but having a tactical tequila brand, I think would be pretty amazing.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. That's honestly, I'm surprised I haven't seen it yet. It's just because it works so well. But when it does happen, which I'm if it doesn't happen, I'll be bummed out. I'll be straight up honest. if it doesn't happen, I'll be bummed out because I want to make something fun for it. But yeah, yeah. If you were just like, oh man, I like this, but I'm just gonna let it go, like, damn, damn it. But because I'd be really interested to see what kind of like for instance, like Yayo. Yayo comes out with some wild stuff and the names for it, and I'm like, I would just love to see what kind of names and what idea for things you would come up with, like because with tactical, like it's so open but so badass.
Yeah. Well, you would be my first choice for artist for that. So there would be a long line behind you, even though you're my first and only choice.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down. You tell me. I want it to happen now. No, yeah.
Yeah, you and me both. If Agave could speak in digital form, what would it sound like? Do you think it would speak in code, color, or just complete chaos?
Um, I think honestly, agave would be silence, like just dead silent. Like you could like crazy dude in a room staring at your butt naked, just like just just straight silence. Just because I feel like agave, the process it goes through is chaos. Um, it has its own color. Code, I don't know anything about code. Like it's, I don't know anything. I know Nintendo code, up, up, down, down, B A B A. That's my code. But
Left, right, left, right.
yeah, yeah. But like, I feel like agave just to me just seems like something that is, you know what, stoic. It's very stoic. It will deal with whatever you throw at it, and it won't make a sound, and it'll just sit there waiting and waiting and waiting. It's just very mute to me. It's a strong mute, so stoic. Yeah.
So now, as you explained that, I feel like it would be more of like a Delta Force operator moving in silence.
Yes. Yes.
Silently stealth, being stealthy, not necessarily to kill you, but not in that sense, but more in the sense of when you get great tequilas made from the agave, and it's just like, man, you're just so blown away by this.
Yeah.
I feel like after you explain that, like that's how I see it, is
Yeah.
moving in a Delta Force manner.
That would be a badass name. Like I saw there's this one movie, the Englishman or the something man, the Kingsman. And one of the agents' name was Tequila. And I used to think like, yo, man, that name is bad as hell. And then now think of them like, nah, agave would be cool. I'm like, oh, that'd be not the name. Make my gamer tag agave.
What emotion do you try to put forth in your artwork, into every image that you design? What emotion most fits all of your designs, or is it different for each design?
I feel like I wanna like I don't know what emotion I put in it, but I wish that I could evoke the emotion that when someone sees it, they just go like like really quiet and they're like, oh shit. Like they just almost like surprised, really surprised, pleasantly surprised, like shit. Like that's that I feel like that's a kind of emotion that I want to like elated. Somebody very like elated, just like, oh man, just yeah, because I feel like it's fun for everybody. It's fun for the person watching it, and then it's fun for me when I find out that that's what it did, and I'm like, I hit it. We did it, guys. We did it, guys. You know, Agent Agave out. Yes. Yeah, 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 yeah.
When you illustrate, more or less celebrating the life of agave, or are you honoring its sacrifice?
Um, I feel like I want to say celebrating it. Let me put this. I would love to be able to make something that could show its sacrifice without bringing anybody down, because I've tried to do something in that sense, and I feel like it's very soul sucking, kind of in a way. And I'm just like, man, like, I just I wanted like everything to be kind of like upbeat or badass or like bittersweet, like rocking. And I feel like any other way, even though like it's like a challenge within myself that I like to be able to pull something like that off. Um, I don't. I'm just like at least I haven't done it within myself where I can figure out how to pull something like that off. But I would definitely say that everything that I do, not intentionally, I think it's just because of the confidence of it. I think it is a celebration, just like by default, because I just want everyone to have a good time. I mean, hell, even at my funeral, I want people to have tequila and have a damn good time at it. So it's like I do think that it's a personal challenge within myself that I would like to be able to show the sacrifice. Um, I haven't figured it out yet, but it's something that I do want to do. Um, but yeah, I would say that all my stuff would be celebration of it.
Are there any brands that their story has helped shape the way that you create your artwork?
Um, I wouldn't say that anyone has a story that shapes my artwork because um I feel like every brand that I think about or I've done work with or that I've just made stuff just out of randomness, I feel like each one comes from a different place that it's like it um there's no theme that strings all of them together. Um like Cardenas has with the military, and it's like that's one thing where it's like how do I fuse that? Um, Legato is like artistically pushes, and I mean in a good way, where it's like it always takes me somewhere where I'm like I just didn't know where I could go. Um, Lost Lore Lost Lore is fun. I'm gonna tell you right now, Lost Lore is fun as all hell because Lost Lore by accident. If anybody listening, everybody's listening. Everybody's listening. Um, if you look at the artwork that I've done for them, by accident, it almost created like a little Marvel universe of the skeletons and the stories, and it wasn't on purpose. It just kind of happened. And if you look at like all the designs they're all tied into each other, like the pizzeria guy, the blood in, blood out guy. Like they're all tied in. There's little nod to each other, all the other designs within the designs, and it's just like it was just completely by accident. But that's definitely a lot of fun. But it's there's just yeah, there's no common thread. There's no one brand that Kokoro is always fun. Kokoro's freaking fun. He's always like, "Yo, let's do some crazy shit," and I'm like, "Okay, cool." But
I
yeah, I feel
do I not to interrupt you, but I do love your design when you did the milkman
that's
for Kokoro. That was amazing, and the fact that that shirt glows in the dark.
yep, yep.
I love
I
it.
man, yeah, it's tough to say. There's because when it comes to a brand story, yeah, I don't think anyone's story. I think I'd have to have my own brand or for a brand story to like affect me. But I will say at the end of it, I had to say what brand has like maybe moved me in a certain direction over another. Um, it would have to definitely be Legato because Steve Steve always lays a crazy gauntlet down. He's like, "Yo, dog." He's like, I got this crazy idea. And I'm just like, okay. He's like, you know who Cause is? I was like, yeah. He goes, I want you to make something. And I'm like what? That's the end of the conversation. That's it. It's just like, do it. And I'm just like, oh, what the fuck? It's like when Steve, when I talk to Steve, it's like some Mission Impossible stuff. Like, you have 5 seconds to accept this. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. Ninja Turtle. Click. And what? They're like, that's it. So like, all the stuff that I've done with them is it has pushed me to spots where I just didn't know that I could go. So that probably the guy, yeah. But I love them all. I do love them all. I love them all. But that one's definitely pushed me, to points where I'm like, I'm gonna jump off a ledge right now because I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
So, do you start with a tequila in hand, or do you just start with more of like the blank screen and a spark?
Honestly, what I start with is um looking around at just random stuff and thinking of just random music. And somehow I'll see something and a certain song will play in my head, and I will replay that song, until the wheels fall off, until I have myself locked in. And then I'll just be designing that song playing in my head. And then once I start doing that, then the tequila comes. Then the tequila comes. But I can't say that I could ever have tequila in hand and design something because then my attention would go somewhere else. I would just be like, oh man, you know what I could be doing right now? Cooking something. I'm hungry. Like that's what I'm like. Damn, I'm hungry. I want some fruity pebbles, or I want to make me something, or else I'm like, you know what? I want to play some video games. There's something. Because whenever I design, it's at night and the kids are asleep, so it's like, what can I do that I can't normally do? And it's like, or I'll watch a TV show, you know. So yeah, it's dangerous to get the tequila involved first, because then I will lose track of whatever I'm doing.
Is there ever a moment, or even the first moment, where you felt like agave was more of your artistic language than anything?
I think um I didn't know that it was going to be. Um and I think months and months turned to years of Rudy, the tequila snobs, and Uncle John, the Black Stallion, beating me like, yo man, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, do you not see this? And I don't think I realized I still don't think I fully realized like that it is. And it's a really cool thing because I'm still learning on how to make stuff. I don't think I'll ever stop learning. But just like tequila, I'll never stop learning about that either. So I just kind of feel like it's an art, it's a language that I'm learning. Yeah, and I like it.
As you talk about it being a language that you're learning, do you learn in stillness or do you learn in chaos?
Both. I operate best in chaos, and so chaos turns to stillness. Stillness for me is chaos. I I can't have stillness, you know. I need it crazy, and then I can zero in. I'm like an old Delta 88, rumbly ass, busted ass car, rearview mirror shaking. That's me. I'm the shaky rearview mirror. But when you give it a little bit of gas, then it levels out. You're like, oh, I can see people behind me now. Sitting at a light, you're like, fuck, man, what is going on? Everything's just blurry as shit. And then you're giving it gas for no reason just to see it's like, oh, okay, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, so chaos. Chaos gives me stillness.
Now, earlier in the show, you had mentioned when it starts to become more of a design, you start to dial it back. But how do you differentiate between the design having soul and it becoming a design? Like, what within you, at what point in time do you finally say, you know what, this is more of a design and I need to dial it back? And, at what point does it still continue with the soul?
I feel like the moment when it becomes generic, and I guess that's a broad way of saying it, but so this is the way that I honestly like ask myself. I'll be making something, and I'm like, if I was making this, if someone else was making this, if they said, hey, you're against these other designers, not even designers, people who don't really have their heart into it. Like, let's just say someone who designs like corporately. Um, and I don't even know if that's like a bad way of putting it, but it's like when someone does it day in and day out and they just follow a formula. Someone says, I want you to make me something about football. And it's like, what is the easiest, most efficient way to put out something about a football? And I feel like if at any point what I'm making would fit the guidelines of someone who says, how fast, how simple can you make this? Um, that's when I'm like, shit, I'm like mass producing my own shit. And then I'm just kind of like, what am I doing? This isn't what I want to do. And then, yeah. So the moment that I start feeling like that it would be what somebody would do textbook without even knowing, if I feel like it starts to look like it, I just wipe it. And for me, that's when I'm like, this is starting to become a design because this would be without having any schooling or anything, but I'm like, would be what a textbook design of a very blank, bland, here's your football kind of thing.
Now, when it comes to like that mundane feeling, your inspiration dries up. Um, how do you reset? How do you know, get back to your artistic way?
I do something the complete opposite. So, so I like, let's say I'm like, oh man, like, I'm making a cascading waterfall of agaves with bats with little halos and going. I'm just like, I can't get this right, but this is what I gotta get done. And then at that point, I go, all right, man, you know what? I'm gonna make a candy bar with a machine gun that's I don't know, shooting out like I don't know, fucking Twizzlers. Like I would literally be like, what is the farthest from what I'm doing? And then how can I, and I just start making just dumb stuff. And I'm just like, but it has to be fast. So it can't be anything that I get involved in. I just go like, oh man, I can't keep doing this humidor. So I'm gonna do something else. I'm gonna draw a hula hoop with spikes on it. So I try to do something completely different. And then I feel like when I take my eyes off of whatever I'm doing and I allow myself to like screw up on purpose, I feel like that gives me like a time to just breathe like, all right, let's go back to it.
In your time of just like decompressing and breathing there, do you ever feel like your artwork ever talks back to you?
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like it always says the same thing. It's always like, bruh, what are you doing? What the fuck? Like, I feel like it looks at me and goes, did you really just put that there? Did you really just put that koa there? Did you really just put that agave there? Did you really just put this shirt on me? What are we doing right here? And I'm just kind of like, yo, man, just shut up. Just stick with me till the end. I know the direction we're going and you just gotta stick with me. And then when I get to the end, I'm like, fuck, I made a wrong turn. But yeah, no, I do think I feel like it's always making fun of me. Like it's always making fun of me. It's always like, yo, really? Like,
Do you feel like that's how you stay so artistic, is that you feel like it's talking back and making fun of you, and you're just like, you know what, fuck you, like this is like I'm gonna show you what's up.
uh, no, I feel like I'm really good at compartmentalizing things. And like, even if everything, all hell's breaking loose around me, I have a really good way of saying like, yeah, like, we'll just deal with that later. And I'm just gonna move on and be this person now. And I feel like when I'm making it, it's like that same thing, like, yo, man, this is gonna blow up in your face, like, and you're watching it, it's about to get real ugly. And I'm just go like, nah, don't worry, future me will deal with that. I'm just gonna keep on going my own path. But yeah, I would think that's definitely that is me right there.
How do you balance storytelling with aesthetic when both fight for attention?
Um, I think it depends on the story. I think it definitely depends on the story. Um, like, it's man, that's a good one. Yeah, I don't like it just kind of happens. It just kind of happens. But I feel like I never really aim. I don't intentionally aim for the story over the aesthetic, but I feel more comfortable in the story in leaning into a story than aesthetic because that's how I kind of come up with things. It's I formulate a little story in my head, but when I'm done, it's like there's always like a little story to tell of every piece that I've done. And I feel like that's kind of like I guess that's my routine. But I guess that's my kind of routine because like aesthetically, I'm not very strong aesthetically. I'm not. Um but I think maybe subconsciously I know that, and that's why I go story heavy because honestly, I think it's more fun. It's a lot more fun. Like if I drew something really cool, it'd just be like, "Yo, look at that streak." But but like I like it when I make something I go, "Oh, look at yeah, there's a streak, but all those little notches in there, if you count them all up, they're the same number as such and such. And then if you look at the angle of it, and that's because the sunlight was here and going in that direction." And I feel like I enjoy that because I'm stronger in that because I think secretly I want to be talking to people about it. So yeah, I lean into story more.
What's your favorite story then?
Oh shit. Oh man. Okay. One of my favorite stories. It was one of the earliest ones that I did. Um, so Denton, Texas. Um, so Holly, commissioned me to do she wanted me to do three pieces for her that had to do with Denton. That's where Tombstone was filmed. Um, there is the corn nuts, factory there, and she's like, just do something that wraps the history of Denton in. So, and it had to be with oh shit, how do I forget the damn the one tequila that had like it was a bottle that had like the white designs on the outside of it. Shit, I forget the name of it now. But anyway, one of them was a bird, one of them was a wolf, and one of them was a man. And she wanted that tequila represented in it. So what I did was I found the movie theater that's been there since like the 1930s or 1950s maybe. Um, and I got an old flyer from when it opened. So I recreated that movie theater with that flyer of that time, and I put King Kong climbing because there was like the sign that kind of stretched up. So I put King Kong climbing on it, and I put this tequila brand. Damn, I can't remember the brand of that tequila, but I put the brand all over, and because the designs on each bottle, the Blanco Reposado and Añejo, were actually linked to one is man, one is a bird, one is like an animal. I think it was a wolf. So I did something where it was like he was the animal and there was the animal on him and he was holding the lady, but like Godzilla, I mean not Godzilla, like King Kong does, but I looked at it as the lady is like a man is the being. And I was like, so you have him holding man, and it was like I just wrapped so much in as far as the opening night, and you had King Kong, and then you had him holding this lady, and in the sign I put in like Vietnam and all kinds of things, and I hid so much in there that I was just like I think that I was really like, oh man, I might be onto something. I was like, it's cool. And honestly, I love that so much that I hope to one day go to Texas and she had it made up in a big poster, and I hope to one day go to her house and see the poster and be like, "Fuck yeah!" So I've never actually reprinted that poster because it's like a little thing within myself that I'm like, if I reprinted it, I'm like, I would really love to see it where it is, and it's the only one, and I would just love to be standing there and be like, damn, man, I made this. Like I still look at it at times on my phone, but I would just love to go there, and then she's like, hey man, thanks, and I'm like, yeah, and like little cling, little Jake, I'm like, oh damn, so awesome, yeah, because I had so much fun making that one, but there was a lot of story in that. Like, if I looked at the picture of it now, um, I bet you I could find so many other things that I hid in there because it's been years. That was one of my earliest ones, and I love the story that went into that one.
When did you start making agave artwork?
It would be, I think, 2019, um, is when I started. Um, And it was all completely by accident. There was like, because tequila was kind of like, I don't want to say it was by accident, but like I got into tequila because I thought that it was terrible. That's how I got into it. I worked at a nightclub. I thought it was shit. Nightclub owner was like, "You don't know good tequila?" I was like, "Whatever, it's all shit." And one night, after everything closed up, went on the rooftop. And he's like, "Bring your buddies," and he put out a whole bunch of tequila. I didn't know what was what, and he was like, "There's good and there's bad." So I would drink. Oh, this is good. Oh, this is bad. Oh, this is good. This is bad. But I never knew what I drank, and then I was always like, "What did I drink that night?" And I was always like, was chasing what that was because I never knew what the hell it was. And yeah, and then from that, just chasing tequila, and then living in Pennsylvania with the shitty selection and, and my sense of humor, and then just doodling. And then I was like, I'm just gonna doodle. I'm gonna doodle funny stuff. And then that just kind of like spawned one thing to another to another.
I feel the same way about Ohio when I go back and visit family. I've seen maybe like 3 brands, Lalo being one, Trace Agaves being the other, and
Yep.
then every once in a while you can get, an off brand depending on where you go. But in my hometown, like there's literally Trace Agaves and Lalo outside of the shitty tequila brands.
Hmm.
And so, like, I'll go to the ABC store in my hometown when I go back to visit, and I pick up Lalo, and I
Yep.
pick Trace Agaves, and then I'm just like, all right, this is gonna last me for my entire time here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the same thing. Lalo, I was lucky to see El Tesoro there. I was like, oh shit, I got it. That I thought for sure I would have seen. I saw Lalo there, but yeah, I think I had Lalo there. Like Lalo's been too frequent in my mind as far as taste that I was like, I want something different. But it's like it's hard to be different in Pennsylvania because there's only so much. So then it's like, oh, okay, let's get it again. And I'm like, I want something different. It's a lot easier to say I want something different and try something shitty than to be like, I want something different and then there's something like decent. So yeah,
No,
Lala was just like I was like, damn it, I just had you. I do like you, but I want somebody. It's not you, it's me.
now, what's your go-to tequila?
It honestly depends. It depends on my mood. It depends who I'm with. If I'm with someone, if I'm not with someone. Um, if I'm watching a show by myself or not. Um, if I'm out to eat, yeah, it is tough to say what tequila would be it. But I will say this: if I was going to get stuck on an island and someone said you can only bring one tequila with you, it would be.
Which has been a frequent question on this show.
Yeah, oh yeah. It would be Cascaween. Uh, actually, you know what? Okay, it would have been Cascaween and Sierra de Luz. It would have been that.
One of my
I
fave.
I love that one, but if I was gonna be on an island, it would be Tierra de Libertad. It would be that. That would be it. And there's tons of brands that I love, all for different reasons. But if I had to pick one thing, it would have to be something that's high proof, something strong. Because if I know it's a limited amount and I got to cut it down with seawater, it's gonna be that. But then I want to be able to, I want it to have such a strong, like kind of like pronounced kind of like flavor that like I forget what the hell I'm doing, and it's just like right there. So yeah, it would be that. But I love all like, everybody out there. But yeah, that would be the one.
So now, as we're talking about expressions here, would you say that you're more of a high proof still strength Blanco or Repo and Añejo extra Añejo person?
I'm gonna go with high proof steel strength. But if I can't get it, Blanco. No, I'm a high proof steel strength. That's me. That's me. Yeah.
Now, I kind of want to divert back to the storytelling of things. Do you see yourself documenting tequila or the documenting tequila culture, or do you see yourself as redefining how it's visualized?
I would. I think. Most of all, even if I'm even thought of or mentioned, I think I'm like hell yeah. But I wouldn't. I would not say that it's documenting it. Because I don't think that I'm not true to it. I don't think I'm pure. Like there's people who are like really like pure about it, and I feel like I'm dirty. It's like I've got rough edges.
Cochino.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So like I wouldn't say that I'd be documenting it, but I would be the latter. Yeah, but I couldn't be documenting because I feel like documenting something you're being 100% honest to it, and I think I take too many liberties with humor and just putting sometimes things together that I don't know. Like honestly, sometimes when I make things, I wonder if like it'll. I never want to make a brand or anything put in the bad light because I just make stuff for myself. Sometimes it's just like the hell with it, and I never know how it's going to be taken, and I really never mean to make anything to put anyone in a bad light. Very a few times I've had people like, "Yo, dog, no," and I'm like, "Ooh, shit." But so I definitely wouldn't say I'm a documenter. No, I don't think I have that skill set. I don't think it's in my bones. But yeah, not documenting.
Kind of just more of an off the wall question for you. If your artwork was a tequila expression, what would it be?
It would be a high proof steel string. It would okay. It would either be a high proof steel string or it would be a Blanco that was so off the wall you would swear it was high proof.
Okay, I like that a lot. Just being a high proof still strength person myself. I mean,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
you know, um it's just my jam. Like you get what the producer is trying to put out there in their flavor profile
Mm-hmm.
comes straight off the still, or if it's an overproof, you get all the flavors that they're trying to get out there. Then once you start to barrel things, you get more of that what the barrel is. You start taking on those notes. Now you'll still have, of course, the agave flavor. And I always tell people if you love their still strength and high proof and their
Mm-hmm.
Blanco, most likely you'll love all of the other expressions that they have.
Yeah.
And of course, it's always taste dependent. Maybe you don't like extra añejos or repos or what have you, for whatever reason. But if you tend to like the high proof or the Blanco, you're, for all intents and purposes, you should like the rest of the expressions of that brand.
Yeah. I so I like the way that so I look at for me, I look at tequila like pizza. Like I judge my pizza bare bones. I want the sauce, I want the pizza, or the dough, the sauce, the cheese. Give me that. Don't give me nothing else. Don't throw bacon on it. Don't throw an onion. Don't throw it. Give it to me straight up and raw.
So
You
no
can dress it up
pineapple?
later. Yeah. Wait, so what?
No pineapple?
No, 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 no. Like later on, you can throw everything on it, but I want to see what the chef is cooking with. Just give him the bare bones and just give it to me straight. Then after that, throw everything else into it. But like, just give me my pizza with no makeup and sweatpants. Just there we go, straight up. But yeah. So I still strength. Yeah, I love still strength. I just don't. Man, Pennsylvania, I can't get shit. Fuck this state. But yeah, no. Still strength, Blancos, but it's got a Blanco with some razzle dazzle.
What is your favorite high proof?
Oh man, that's tough. That's really tough. Um, and the reason why I say it's really tough is because I've, even though I've had a good amount of high proofs, they've only been small amounts of high proofs. So it'll be like I'll have, like a taste of one. Like I've never really had one at home that I can just measure with like a bunch of other ones. So it's like, man, this was good with this dinner because I love cooking. And it's like or like with this kind of cheese or meat or with this kind of popcorn or ice cream. So it's really tough to say. So I think I would judge my favorite high proof um based on like an experience that I had with it. Um, and it would definitely it would be the Don Vicente High Proof. Um, and I don't even know if it's out. I don't know. I don't know if
It
it
is.
ever made it out.
It is.
Um,
I actually have a bottle here.
yeah, it was I that would be my favorite one because I was able to try a few sips of it, which is more than other ones that I was able to try. But I had such a blast talking to the Don Vicente crew. It was it was so awesome. Like it was a moment where I was like, man, I want to recreate this again. I wanted to like, but every time I've been to another event, I have never run into them again. And I was just kind of like, ah, this would be so badass. It was just, I don't know, the whole conversation, everything, just kind of like really stuck with me. Um, but trust me, if there's any brands out there that want to send me some high proof, I won't look the other way. We can make new memories. But yeah,
So now
yeah.
talking about the agave community and brands and all of those things, how would you say the agave community has shaped your evolution as a digital creator?
100%. They shaped it. 100%. How they shaped it? Um, I guess by giving me confidence, giving me permission to just fuck up. That's the agave community is very, very great community. Like it's so badass. Like I wish I could have like a summer camp where it's like the agave summer camp, and people got to experience that. Like
An
it's so
adult,
cool.
an
Yeah,
adult
yeah,
agave
and
summer camp. That would be amazing.
yeah, yeah. And I was like, that just would be so cool. And 'cause it's something that I always say is I feel like you could get two people who absolutely hate each other's guts, but they'll sit together long enough to have one sip of tequila. And I just feel like that kind of limited acceptance in the worst way, but if you make it with better intentions, with good people, they're so open and welcoming that it's kind of like, I feel like it gives me the confidence to be like, yeah, I can make something. I can fuck up. Like, no, that's cool. They just love authenticity, and I feel like I'm not really good at not being authentic. So I feel like it gives me the courage or the confidence to just fuck up.
I want to throw a question out there about legacy, and I kind of asked this on a good portion of the shows. You're 6 feet deep. Sum up your legacy in one sentence. What do you want your legacy to be?
Damn, what would I want my legacy to be? 6 feet deep. I think I would want it to be like, man, he was fun, but he was crazy. He was crazy. I hope wherever he is, they're ready. I think that would be my legacy. I don't want to leave a statue behind. I don't I don't want anybody really remembering me. I'm just like, man, life's too short. Just I think my legacy would be like, man, just go out, have some fun. Go
But
have some fun.
but even going out and having fun, like I can tell just by on how I met you and everybody that I've seen interact with you at these events, you've made an impact on so many lives, whether you realize that or not.
That it's it's weird because it's like, yes, um, and I think sometimes I just think to myself, I'm like, man, I just wear New Balances. Like I don't
What are
like
those, the 506s?
oh shit, dude, I have so many pairs. I have so many pairs. I think I got 574s. Dude, I have two squeaky 574s. They're both black and they're both the only ones that squeak. And I swear I want to tell New Balance like, yo, why do both of my black 574s squeak? But yeah, it's kind of annoying. It's always the left foot. I was like, what the fuck is up with this damn sneaker? So like I think I'm not gonna buy black ones for a little while. But yeah, I think I'm very fortunate. I'm very, very fortunate to, I guess, have that impact on people. And I I feel like no matter how I view myself, like if I'm like, oh well, like I'm not that important because to me, I'm just like I just wear New Balances. But I think just being able to affect somebody's interaction that could change their day, change their week, change their outlook on things. I think um, that's fucking awesome. And I'm very fortunate to to be in that position. Extremely fortunate and thankful. 100% because it could be a dick bag. It could be a dick bag in that position. And I'm glad that it's not.
Now, I want to ask you a few questions based on the design of the shirt that you're wearing. It is a tactical tequila design, and
Yes, it is.
I when I came to you and I gave you a couple photos of what I was thinking. I wanted the movie Desperado theme, um, and I think it was maybe like what a year in the making of when I was like, hey dude, like
Hmm.
this is what I'm looking for, and you're like, yep, I totally see it, like let me get to work on it. And you just blew me away with the scorpion design there. And I was at first hoping for like this Antonio Banderas type silhouette, which is kind of what I what I gave to you, but
Hmm.
you know, when you came back and you said, "No, like this is what I was thinking," and you're like all these little small arms, knives and small arms firearms, and you made it into a scorpion, and I was like, holy shit, like this is badass. Like I love this design. When you were creating it, were you more or less creating war on the soft brands in the game when you made this design?
Um, it was so like for months I was doing the Antonio Banderas. I was like I was watching a lot of Desperado. I was I was examining clips and behind the scenes photos and looking at his like body positions and then looking at different like artistic styles, and I felt like I was like, how can I tell this story? Because he's a big, I mean, like he's a very big in life person, the Desperado, even though he's just a dude in a jacket that carries guns. Like, there's a lot to him. There's his stature, there's his hair, and then like if you don't see the scorpion on the back, like then then you have to look into how do you distinguish him from someone else in like a black getup. You know, you have the red armband. You know, like there's so many things. I'm like, how can I not force this? Because I didn't want him to look like a down and out drunk guy who just had a suitcase with guns and and tequila. But I was like, I know I could do this, but every time when I was going to it, I felt like I kept putting myself into a design because it was like you only have so much space that you can put him in, and then you have to tell the story with the guitar and everything else. And I was like, how can I be honest to it? And I was like, I don't know if I have the skill, because then it kept leading back to like very like mundane, and I was like something like expected, and I was like you see it coming, and I was like, I don't want someone to see it coming. And then I was just kind of like sitting there and just kept thinking of songs from Desperado, and I just kept thinking about scenes from Desperado, and I thought of the scorpion on his back, and I was like, so wild. And I was like, one thing that's always awesome in movies is when like the protagonist has this crazy jacket, um, Desperado, Balboa, uh, what the hell is his name in the movie Drive? He's got like a kind of like a Balboa, and I'm like, oh man, those jackets are always cool. And I'm looking at it, and I was like, that scorpion is badass. And then realizing that that scorpion didn't get a lot of love in the movie. Like it was many times where like you'd see glimpses of it, but if you saw it, you would know that it was his. But he didn't walk with his back to the camera a lot. So then I'm looking at the scorpion, and I was like thinking about the guitar case and all the weapons and how versatile it really was. And I was like, wait a minute. And I'm just looking at it, and I was like, what if the scorpion was actually it? So I just started playing with it, and I was like, but it's got to be true to him. So I was like, what kind of weapons would he actually use? He needs stuff that's close range. Let's give him a knife. Let's give him an axe. Let's give him a sawed-off shotgun. And then I was like, but what's he gonna do if he's gonna hit you from a distance? And I was like, he needs a sniper rifle. So then then I started looking at um stuff of Desperado and what kind of weapons he was using and what kind of weapons you saw in the movie. I was like, I gotta put these all in. So like the agave, there's all the daggers that like Danny Trejo that he would bust out and throw. So like those are in the shape of the agave fanned out up top. And I was just like, I felt like I was like, the story's right there. The story's on his back. And I was like, oh man. So then I went head first into that and just kept listening to the same song over and over and replaying a scene in my head, and then it just came to be. And then I sent it to you, and I was just hoping. I was like, oh shit, this was the worst idea. What did I do? What did I do? It? Yeah.
No, man, I loved it. And so when you have people see this piece, like, what do you want them to feel?
Honestly, whenever like this piece and any piece, I feel like what I want people to feel is proud that that would represent them if they weren't standing there. That's I want to give somebody a sense of like, yeah, I'm proud of that. Like if they're like, oh man, you wore that, you fucking right, I wore that. Like I just, I feel like I want it to be a great companion to whatever direction or cause that they're moving in or creating. I just want it to be like a great ingredient to that, and like a proud ingredient, and that's pretty much it.
Well, my brother, I do appreciate your time. Where can everyone find you on social media?
On Instagram at Agave Van Gogh, just Agave and Van Gogh like the artist, but Agave Van Gogh. You can find me on TikTok at Agave Van Gogh, but I'm like not really on there. And on Facebook at Agave Van Gogh, but I'm rarely on there. I really got to get better at the other ones, but Instagram is like my playing ground. Like I enjoy it. Yeah.
I appreciate your time and thank you so much for being on the show, brother. You're always welcome here in the house. I got you.
Yes. Oh man, dude, thank you so much for having me on. Um, oh wait, hold on a second. Hold on, before we go, there's one question you didn't ask me that I really, really wanted you to ask me. Um, shit. Who would I have a drink with?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause every time when I hear you ask, I'm like, oh shit, yeah, like, you're like, oh man, yeah.
So, if you had one person, alive or dead, to share a drink with, preferably a tequila drink, but if not, that's you. Who would it be?
It would be person and place and time. It would be with Frank Sinatra. It would be at his house in Florida, and it would be during his cocktail time when they would fly the Jack Daniels flag over the house, and I would be sitting there having a drink with him, watching everything go down.
Now, what would your drink of choice be?
Um, you know what? It would be. It would have to be Tierra de Libertad. It would have to be that, and the reason why is because like I love tequila. But I do enjoy whiskey, although I don't really know much about whiskey. So Jack Daniels is my guy. But I feel like from enjoying Jack Daniels and then really enjoying tequila and Frank Sinatra, that if he was sitting there with Jack Daniels, like, put that shit over there and drink this. And I feel like he'd be like, damn, this is great. And they're like, you damn right. And then we just kick back and watch the Brat Pack with the Rat Pack and everybody else get all crazy. And I think for that moment, he would be like, we could leave the flag up, but we'll be sitting here drinking this.
I love that, dude. That's that's amazing. Like Frank Sinatra is one of the best, to ever do it.
I mean, it would have to be at his house. It would have to be during the cocktail hour. Once I heard about that whole thing, I was like, this has got to be a myth. And then finding out, I was like, man, it would have been so cool to be alive in that time and just be walking down. I forget if it was like Star Island or none or Coconut Grove, wherever it was, I forget. But to be walking down the street and to see his house, see the flag up, and then know they're like, hey man, everybody's welcome. And I was like, fuck, man, I'd have been like, I'd have dropped everything. I'd have like, if I would have been there with my wife and kids, like, you guys got to fend for yourself for a few hours. I have to go into this house. Who's there? I'm like, doesn't matter. I would just run in there. Yeah,
Well,
that would be my.
brother, I appreciate your time and I thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good night.